to the Marketing Nomad Show, the fun pit stop for all things Instagram, where I also share my entrepreneurial journey, some of my lessons, wins, and challenges along the way, so it can inspire you to get started and grow on Instagram as well. Welcome to the Marketing Nomad Show, guys. For those of you who are new, I'm the Marketing Nomad. You can also call me Prit. Now, this is episode number 24, and today we're going to talk about 10 ways to stay motivated on Instagram. Now, for those of you who are, kind of new to my podcast, or you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to give a quick introduction on what my podcast or my YouTube is all about. Now, I usually give Instagram tips, marketing strategy tips, and I also share a lot of my entrepreneurial journey. I am the CEO of The Marketing Nomad, and I am basically in and as the Marketing Nomad for my company as well. So I kind of started this podcast to kind of share my journey. I think that it is pretty unique, especially given 2020, the year it has been, and I started my company in the midst of a pandemic. And I've also kind of figured my way through Instagram. I do have an MBA degree with a concentration in marketing, but even so, despite a degree, I felt that there was a need for more marketing strategy related speakers out there, and I seem to, I really love marketing. I'm so passionate about it. So I thought I'd start this podcast to kind of share my experiences, to kind of share the tips and tricks that I've learned over the course of my time as a marketer, all right? So before we get into, 10 ways to stay motivated on Instagram, kind of do want to go over, the kind of stigma behind feeling demotivated on Instagram, or even when you are running your business. I do want to put it out there that it is absolutely natural. It is absolutely natural if you are feeling a little down, a little demotivated. And given that the initial progress on Instagram, or even your business for that matter, is going to be a little slow, it can get frustrating. It can get a little bit crazy. And it can also, make you so impatient, waiting, okay, when am I going to blow up? When am I going to see that exponential growth that everyone talks about? So there will be periods of you feeling demotivated. So I do want to put it out there that it is absolutely natural that you are feeling this way, or if you have been in that slump, okay? So here are my 10 ways. These are ways that basically I have picked up over the last couple of years, especially when I feel, kind of a bout of low motivation when it comes to Instagram, and, I stop posting, and then I feel like I'm stagnant. There's that sense of irritation and all of those things. And if you are feeling this way, okay, then this podcast episode is absolutely for you. In the past, yes, I have been demotivated on Instagram, demotivated with respect to my business as well, but these 10 ways have really helped me, kind of jumpstart back and get into Instagram or my business back very, very quickly. And I do want to also put it out there that when you are, starting to feel demotivated, which means you're starting to feel frustrated, you're starting to feel impatient, and all of those things, it is also helpful to kind of try out these methods at that stage instead of waiting for you to be completely demotivated, like 0% motivation. But when you see the signs, you feel, you're starting to get there, you're starting to feel a little bit of a burnout, that's when you can also start implementing these, and it will really help you to get back that motivation in a jiffy, okay? So basically that's that. I've got my laptop in front of me. I have my tips. And for those of you who are listening to my podcast for this first time, I don't script my podcast episodes. They're just points that I put, and I just feel that this is such a more personal way of me connecting with you. So I've got my 10 tips. I've got me. So guys, let's go, okay? Now the first step or the first method, or the first way, I guess I would say, would be to take some time to understand what kind of content you want to talk about. What is it that drives you? What is it that motivates you? What is the reason behind you on Instagram? All right? And this is so crucial. And if your answer to this question, what is motivating you, or what is the reason why you're doing this? If your answer to that is, oh, well, Prit, I really just want to grow, I want to be an influencer, then I suggest you taking all of those reasons and dumping them in the garbage dump, okay? Because those are not reasons that, you should be on Instagram. You should be on Instagram because you want to change people's lives in a certain way. You want to do something. There should be a higher purpose to your reason for being on Instagram. So today, I want you to take some time, kind of dig deep into why exactly are you on Instagram? Why do you have your business? What exactly are you trying to achieve at the end of the day? And it's not that you want to be an influencer. What is that higher purpose that you are looking to achieve? For me, it is transforming the way people look at marketing and to make it easy for entrepreneurs to incorporate marketing strategies by themselves. That is my higher purpose. You need to figure out what drives you. And the minute you understand fundamentally that you are trying to transform people's lives, it becomes that much more easier for you to reignite that motivation. And for those of you on my podcast, you heard a flick, I guess. That was me snapping my fingers for emphasis. Okay, so basically finding out what is actually the hidden purpose, what is the reason behind you doing what you're doing, is actually a great way for you to get started and for you to come back into that zone of being driven. Basically, lack of motivation means that you have no drive left in you. So once you find out why you are passionate about what you do, or what is it that motivates you, or what is the transformation that you are bringing to your clients, it just reignites that drive and basically brings back your motivation. Okay, so that is number one. And kind of going off of that, what do you want to talk about on Instagram? Sometimes I have noticed that, you can get a little bit overwhelmed because you don't know what to talk about, you don't know what content to post and stuff like that. I've been there, guys. And it's something that will keep happening as you grow as well. So it's not that, Prit says that it's only going to happen in the beginning stages and then I'm all set to go. No, this is going to keep occurring every single time you see a slight growth in your numbers. You're going to kind of go into a frenzy, you're going to panic and be like, okay, what do I do? What do I post? What do I want to post about? And stuff like that. What is it that my audience wants to know more about? So thinking about that, taking time to go into a shell and figure out, okay, what kind of content I want to post. What is it that is fun for me? Because after a point, yes, there is a tendency to kind of get bored about the same posts that you are posting. Maybe you want to experiment with something else. Maybe you've been doing carousels all along. Maybe you want to start with reels. Maybe you've been doing reels. Maybe you want to hop onto lives more. So there are different ways that you can experiment and kind of bring back the fun element to your entire process as well, okay? So taking time to understand what motivates you, taking time to understand, okay, well, this is the kind of content that really makes me happy, basically. At the end of the day, it needs to make you happy, okay? So keep checking in with yourself every now and then. Figure out, okay, is this making me happy? Am I feeling okay? Have I lost my sense of purpose? And then if all your answers are, well, a green light, then move forward, okay? So that was my first point for you, okay? Now, if in case, okay, you are looking to post on Instagram and you would really like some help with that, I will be putting this in the description, but I actually do have a checklist for you before you post something. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll put the link in the description box and then you can head over there and get it. It's a really nice checklist that every single time you post on Instagram, you can always just take a look at that. It's got, you know, whether you've written your captions properly, whether you've put in your call to actions, all of those things, and it's just easier to have that. So if you are overwhelmed by the process of posting on Instagram, then I do have a checklist for you. So I'll put that link in the description box below. Now let's go on to number 2. Now number 2 is looking at your favorite pages on Instagram that are in your niche. And not just that, honestly, even if they aren't in your niche and you know you like their pages, take a look at it. Take a look, take some time, figure out what is it that they're doing, okay? Yes, that is also going to kind of provide you with some sort of relief, and you know you're not always going to be obsessing about your own account. Taking a look at other people's account gives you a sort of break. But other than that, I do also want you to take a look at what other people are doing in your niche. Maybe you might get inspired, you never know. And for me, personally, the biggest inspirations that I have gotten for my own Instagram page were looking at people from completely irrelevant and other niches, okay? So I don't know what it is. Probably there's a psychological aspect to this, but when you start looking at pages that aren't your niche, I think you kind of get out of the work mode and you kind of go into the relax mode, and that just gets the ideas and the content and your thought process to flow even better. So I've always, you know, every time I am demotivated or I feel a little down, I do take a look at other pages in different niches, and then, you know, inspiration hits, and then I'm back with my passion, and I'm back with my motivation, because I'm like, oh, okay, that's something new, I want to try that out, and then I move forward with that idea, and it's all it takes, guys. It's just that one spark, okay? So I just want to put that out there. So number 2 was to look at your favorite Instagram pages, maybe in your niche, but not necessarily in your niche. Honestly, the best ideas that you will get are the ones that aren't in your niche. So I want you to go today, do that, and then come back and let me know in the comment section below if you guys found some inspiration somewhere, okay? I would absolutely love to hear you know, your journey, because this has personally happened to me and I was so shocked by it. So I do want to hear your experience, I guess, with this solution, okay? Now, number 3, okay, is to kind of step away from Instagram at the moment, because if that platform is overwhelming you a little bit, then okay, let's take a step back and let's take a look at other social media pages. And by other social media pages, I mean maybe Pinterest, maybe Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, maybe even Etsy, to be honest with you. You never know where inspiration's gonna hit, you never know where that spark is going to occur, and you never know where you're gonna find your motivation. So this is something that I've done in the past as well. I've gone onto Pinterest, I've gone onto Etsy. Guys, Etsy is unbelievable in terms of the content that I have received, the inspiration basically that I have received, especially when I feel like, okay, there's nothing left for me to do, everything is done by everyone, and then I go to Etsy or I go to Pinterest and then I find my motivation. And most of the times, even by just looking at how much work other people are doing in other niches, just really motivates me, because I feel like, oh yeah, I gotta just keep going, that's all it is. And that's when I realize, okay, yes, it's just all, you know, that in that moment, in that that random second that I feel, okay, there's a little bit of a lull, and then I go right back. So guys, number 3 would be to take inspiration from social media pages, other websites, guys, blogs, where else? I can't really, yes, there is also Clubhouse right now, so maybe you want to hop on there, take a little bit of a visual relief maybe, and then just listen to the audio stuff that's going on Clubhouse. And I've been there a couple of times and I did find really interesting talks on there as well. So that might be something that you might want to look into as well. So kind of look around your space to find inspiration, and guys, you will find it, trust me. And like I said, it doesn't always have to be in your niche. It can be even other niches, maybe something that's funny, and maybe you can kind of extrapolate that to your niche as well. So Again, guys, never know where you find your inspiration, so maybe it's just better to take a step back, okay? So that was my third point, guys. My fourth point is, okay, and this is probably a little bit embarrassing, but for me, content creation is one part of Instagram where sometimes, guys, I do need a little bit of a punch, a little bit of that extra kick of motivation. For you, it could be something else. For you, maybe it could be posting on stories. For you, maybe it could be engaging with other accounts. Whatever it is that, you kind of hesitate to do, or you need that extra motivation, or you need that extra punch, have a jam playlist on Spotify, okay? Honestly, guys, by having a jam playlist on Spotify or wherever it is, you can even have the playlist on YouTube, guys, it just gets me going, okay? I've got a bunch of Bollywood dance songs that I just play every time I need that extra motivation, and I shake things out, I kind of dance a little bit, and I'm just back to normal. I kind of absorb the energy of the dance song. I guess, I don't know, guys, but that's what happens, and then I'm all back with my motivation, fully pumped and ready to go. So for me in particularly, content creation process is a little bit difficult. It takes me some time to push myself and to get started with it, but once I start, I really get into the zone. But it's just I have starting troubles when it comes to that. So for you, it could be some other aspect of Instagram. It doesn't necessarily have to be content creation. So if you really want that extra push, create a playlist just for yourself. Maybe you can name it Starting Trouble, or you can say Go For It, or something like that. Name it something peppy and just move forward with it, guys. So that, in my experience, has really helped me, especially during moments where I have absolutely been like, nope, not doing this today at all, okay? So that was my fourth point, guys. My fifth one is something that I have recently started doing, and that is to take a walk. And I used to hear everyone on like different podcasts and like different YouTube channels saying, you should take a walk and stuff like that. And honestly, I did not believe it, okay, guys? I was like, oh, what a walk, what's a walk gonna do? I'm just gonna be thinking about this the whole time. It's just gonna be frustrating, and I'm not going to be very much motivated. But honestly, guys, it takes a few times to do that, to be honest. For me, I think it took forcefully going for walks for, I think, 3 times. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get why this is making sense. I'm starting to calm down and reprocess my entire feelings and kind of get my motivation back. So for me, I am now a huge advocate of going for walks. But I wasn't before, so I just want to tell you guys, if you are skeptical about, going for walks and stuff like that, I highly recommend it, okay? Even if it is just for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, just go out for a walk. And every time, and this is something that I do personally as well, every time I feel like my mind is going on Instagram or my business, or I feel overwhelmed by everything, I keep focusing on my breath. Like I breathe in, breathe out, and then I kind of look around me, I kind of figure out what's beautiful in front of me, okay? Whether it's a particular leaf that's turned orange, or maybe the crossroads are a little wonky on the side, or maybe it's a puppy on the street. I live in Bangalore, guys. There are a lot of puppies, a lot of dogs everywhere, okay? So on the streets. So for me, it's just that. It's just trying to be in the moment and finding what's beautiful in front of me. So I guess, I don't know, guys, I'm not a psychology major, but I guess being in the moment or something like that helps you reprogram your mind, and you are able to distance yourself from the problem, from your demotivation, and you are able to get back into that flow of thoughts and stuff like that, okay? So for me, this was my fifth point. It really works. It's very surprising, guys, but it works, okay? Now, the sixth step that I do have for you is a little different. I know that every day people say you have to write to-do lists. And for me, while I do have my own to-do list, don't get me wrong, there are certain things that I do differently. especially when I'm writing down, when I'm starting my day and I have like a process just before I start my day. So instead of writing to-do lists, or along with my to-do list, I guess I would say, I also write my goals. And I also write actionable steps to get there. Now, especially when you are feeling demotivated and you are feeling like, oh, nothing's ever going to work out for you and stuff like that, this helps. Okay, putting down your goals is one thing. Okay, that itself will kind of trigger that motivation to get back, because you have that desire to get there. You can envision it, you can see it in your eyes, and it's right in front of you in paper as well. So that sort of does something to your mind, and it becomes more legit, it becomes more true in your mind. You're kind of tricking your brain, I guess, in that perspective. So once you put your goals on paper, okay, don't stop there. I know a lot of people probably do stop there. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, Prit, I write my goals. I have like a vision board and stuff like that. Yes, absolutely, great. All of those things work. But you also have to write actionable steps to get you there. That's the difference. Okay, it's through writing those actionable steps, it's through figuring out what your next steps could look like, is going to drive that motivation back into you, because you are actually telling yourself that, hey, this is not the end of it, okay? You are going to get there, and this is how. And you've got all these actionable steps. So it starts to seem more real. It starts to seem more achievable, your goals. And this has been such a huge transformation with respect to my business and also my time and my thought process on Instagram, guys. So this is like one of my biggest tips, and that is, alongside your to-do list, write your goals and write actionable steps to get there. Okay, so now I started doing this every single day. I would put one goal and then I would write actionable steps. Today I'm at a point where I only need to do that when I'm feeling demotivated. Okay, for me, it has become an internal process where in my head I've got it all listed out, and it's just permanently kind of embedded into my mind. But there are times when I am demotivated, and that's when I physically write this down. So I would recommend starting every single day along with your to-do list. Just write one goal you have for the day, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about your business. It can even be a personal goal. Maybe you want to walk 3 kilometers. So in your actionable steps, you're gonna be like, okay, well, the first step, guys, and I'm serious about this, the first step would be to figure out where my jogging shoes are. And then it is to turn on the treadmill. It is to maybe go at a speed of 5 for the first maybe mile or kilometer, and then slowly ramp it up. Even putting detailed actionable steps helps, because the more detailed they are, the more easier it is going to be for you to envision your steps to your goal. Okay, so I want to be absolutely clear. This is the 6th point, and guys, it is probably one of the best advice that I could give anyone. Okay, so write your goals and write actionable steps, and try to be as detailed as possible. The more demotivated you're feeling, the more detailed your actionable steps should be, because when you are feeling demotivated, it can get a little difficult for you to envision your actionable steps. So the more detailed you are, the more easier it will be for you to kind of see yourself doing it and see yourself achieving those goals, which is going to then spark your motivation. Okay, guys? So that was my 6th point. Now we have my 7th point. Now this kind of pertains to feeling demotivated with respect to content creation on Instagram, and particularly for me, there have been times where I have been overwhelmed with content creation, and the best step that I have ever taken, especially during the times that I felt demotivated, was to actually talk to my audience and ask them what they want to see. And most of the times, guys, you will be surprised to hear this, your audience will actually have the answers that you need. Okay, most of the times they actually know what it is that they are looking for, and most of the times they will be happy to tell you, especially when you reach out to them and you're like, hey, I'm just checking in. Is there something more that you would like to see from me? Any particular type of content that you'd like to see more from me? Or is there some aspect about, whatever niche yours is that I can help you with? And guys, first off, even reaching out to them and thinking of them is going to touch your audience's hearts like I don't have any analogy right now, but well, you get the point, guys, okay? It's really going to touch their hearts. So it's not just that. It's also you building a relationship with them as well. It shows them that you care. You care about what they want to see. You care about what they want. You care that they are actually investing that time to see your content, to like your content, to share it, to comment on it maybe. So these are all important things, especially when you're building that relationship. But it is also important for you to understand what your audience wants to see, and maybe that might even inspire you. Maybe your audience says, well, Prit, I really like the reels that you're doing, but maybe can you make it a little bit more fun, or a little bit more, add in more subtitles or something like that. You never know what your audience is going to say, right, guys? So maybe that's that, and then maybe that sparks an idea in your head and you're like, oh, okay, that's a different idea, that's a different perspective, I'm going to try that out, and then so on and so forth. So like I said, guys, the best people to ask about what they want is the source itself, okay? If you are in like a relationship with someone, you're not going to ask your friend what your boyfriend wants. You're going to ask him, okay, what is it that you want? Dude, can you please tell me? Kind of thing. So that's basically it. Go to the source, ask them what it is that they are looking for you, and most of the times they will have an answer. Most of the times that will spark your motivation, and not just because they are giving you an idea. The fact that they are invested in you, they are willing to tell you what they feel like, they are willing to share their thoughts itself is going to be kind of an eye-opener for you. You're going to be like, oh, okay, well, what I'm doing actually matters to someone, okay? And that's when, again, your motivation is going to get started and you're going to go pull forward, guys, okay? So that was the 7th, okay? Now we have 8th. One of the reasons why you could be demotivated on Instagram could be that you are probably not managing your time on Instagram. You're probably on it 24/7. So I'm guilty of this, guys. For those of you listening on the podcast, I'm actually raising my hand and giving a very, very guilty look. So yes, guys, this is something that I've been guilty of, spending 24/7 of my time on Instagram when I first started out, not having boundaries, and it was just so draining. At the end of the day, you guys have to realize that this is a social media app, all right? There are repercussions to your time on the app. It does drain your energy, even though your entire aspect of it is business and not personal, okay? So that is one fundamental fact that you have to understand about the social media app. So the thing that I guess I would say that has changed maybe the last 4 months of my time on Instagram is to keep dedicated time slots for Instagram, okay? And it was a little difficult to implement this. I'm gonna be like 1000% honest with you. It was so hard. But what I found is keeping a timer along with me just on my phone, like, okay, 20 minutes and that's it. And just keeping that timer